Hello and welcome to another video in the challenge series. Now from the title you might guess that since no one is crew, everyone must be Gnosia, but what I actually mean by that is that no one is a regular crewmate, and to achieve this there can only be a maximum of 11 crew members for Gnosia, and 7 others, and these 7 will be taken up by the 6 roles that exist outside of Gnosia. Now we're going to get some claims here. Other than the guard duty, there are probably going to be multiple fake claims, or at least one for the engineer here. There is a doctor present, and since everyone is something, once all the claims are sorted out, we can essentially whittle down and know who is most likely the guardian angel or just a silent Gnosia. I'm more likely to believe that the AC follower at least will make a role claim. The bug may stay silent. I'm the bug, so I may or may not claim a role. The only role remaining is doctor anyways, and it is not a useless doctor at least, but probably not a good idea to help limit the possibilities of who could be what, and instead increase the possibilities, and thereby making it harder to gauge who is what, and specifically who is the Gnosia. Now the doctors are going to step forward. It looks like only one, so it's reasonably safe to assume that Setsu is the doctor. The only other option is that SQ was the doctor, and we're about to lose to the Gnosia. Already, as you can see, if you take away everyone who has claimed a role, there are 6 of us left. And assuming Setsu is in fact the real doctor, that means of those 6, there are 4 Gnosia, the bug, which is me, and 1 guardian angel, which is unfortunate now because apparently I am the most suspicious. I suspect actually that the Gnosia just teamed up on me. Yeah, SQ was actually the doctor. That is kind of crazy because that means that Setsu just got away with claiming a role with no opposition despite being a fake. And this time we are the AC follower. Using that knowledge, we can predict certain things. We can rule out that the other 10 are the AC follower, and we can use it to try to identify other roles. At the very least, we know there isn't an AC follower among the other 10 members of the ship. For example, we know that since we are the AC follower, the real doctor is among the 2 other claims, that being Comet and Otome, and the other one is an evil role. We can take this a step further and see that there are 3 engineer claims. 1 is genuine, 2 others aren't, and presumably those 2 aren't both Gnosia. This means that one of those 2 engineers is the bug and the other is Gnosia. That means that on our side, the doctors, the lineup is an AC follower, a real one, and a Gnosia. So in a way, there are 3 factions, putting aside the guard duty, who are verified humans, and so we don't really need to concern ourselves about them. That leaves 3 groups of 3. 3 engineers, 3 doctors, and 3 unclaimed. And we were right about the bug being among the engineers. So taking this to the extreme, or just the regular, we can sort of have an easier time guessing what roles belong to who, And this is, in essence, the idea behind a game or a loop without any crew, and crew as defined by just a regular, boring human with no special abilities. And this time, our three factions, as I called it, are 3 doctors, 2 engineers, and 4 others. This means that there's 1 engineer and 1 doctor among those, and likely a bug or a sea follower doctor group. As for the 4 unknowns, we know for sure that one of them is the guardian angel and the 3 others are evil. So it's a 75% chance if we go with one of those 4 as our pick to go into Code Sleep. And since no one was attacked the other day, that leaves us with 2 options, really. Either A, the guardian angel protected somebody, or B, the bug was the one that's attacked and the guardian angel may have been Remnant. If we assume that that's likely not the case, because again the 3 and 4 chances are in our favor, then it's probably that the guardian angel got a protection off. And with that protection, or at the very least the bug just not getting killed, that buys us essentially another day to vote out someone else. And that means that between Remnant and SQ, an evil, whether it's the AC follower, the bug, or the Gnosia, is out. And so we can keep voting the unknown group out as the engineer group and the doctor group gathers information and reports. Unfortunately, one of those 3 doctors are real, and that means we froze either on day 1 or day 2 the guardian angel. So it's more and more likely that the protection that we thought was going on was actually just the bug's invulnerability. Now Gina gets the definite human, and they don't have a role, and they're not the bug, so it's possible they're the AC follower, but they might actually be the guardian angel, and Remnant could be AC follower or bug. Now combining the definite human Gina from the engineers and the definitely 1 human is put into Code Sleep from the doctors, that leaves Chippy no room to really be human, and he is definitely Gnosia. And Gina was either the guardian angel or the AC follower because they were in the unknown group. As we said earlier, Chippy is confirmed to be Gnosia, and so I'm likely or more inclined to believe that Rockio is the genuine engineer. That means that if they are, Shigemichi is... Okay, and Rockio just ruins it by saying that Comet cannot be the engineer, and therefore Rockio is the real engineer. So Chippy again is Gnosia, and Shigemichi is either the real doctor or the AC follower. And it looks like Rockio is identifying Kukushka as well as being a definite enemy. This case I can see a lot easier. It's simply because they've only reported 1 of the 3 in Code Sleep as a Gnosia, and therefore with 4 total Gnosia, there must be 3 remaining, and there are 6 of us left. And so if there were still 3 Gnosia, the game would be over. Now I don't know if Rockio found some other solution to proving that Comet is an enemy, but mine would probably start with Kukushka, because Kukushka saying that there's only 1 Gnosia in Code Sleep is impossible, therefore they're enemy. And since the first two only had one Gnosia in Code Sleep, and Setsu was put into Code Sleep and didn't end the game, Setsu must be Gnosia. With that in mind, Comet reported Setsu as human, and that establishes that Comet is Gnosia, or at least the enemy. Now I'm going to take the initiative to ask that others reveal their role. I see no purpose in limiting the amount of information available to us humans. Again, 3 factions, 2 doctors, 3 engineers, 4 unknown. 75% chance in that unknown category. Not bad. Of course, 3 of those 4 are getting put into a revote. Looks like Chippy is the one selected. Hopefully they are indeed the evil one, because if not, they're the guardian angel, and that sucks. Now Otome is gone, but since Otome was guard duty, we still have 3 engineers and 2 doctors around, and therefore 5 pieces of information or 5 reports that we can use to determine who is Gnosia or not. I think day 2 is still too early to make any conclusions, but it looks like Shigemichi is probably evil because they got Comet to stop making everyone say that they're human, and therefore is more likely to be the culprit because they didn't want to lie. That phrasing is perhaps backwards, right? It could be that they didn't want to lie because they're more likely to be the culprit. Would that work better? I don't know. Either way, I'm gone. It was Shigemichi, and we did freeze the guardian angel, so we got that 1 in 4. Now this time we're going to have the same setup, only our role is different. We'll be the Gnosia with 3 others, and this will essentially give us 3 extra pieces of information. We'll know who's Gnosia, and that will pretty much fill out the unknown section for us, making it much easier to determine who's the real engineer and who's the real doctor. Even though Otome already claimed engineer, I of course claimed it as well, and this produced the effect of there only being 3 claims for engineer, and since we know 2 of them are the Gnosia, Shigemichi is the real engineer. We vote out a human here, possibly the bug, AC follower, or guardian angel. We'll be taking out Stella just because they're guard duty and one of the only confirmed humans around. Okay, and Shigemichi checked Remnant, so we know at least that they are not the bug. For some reason, I do not know why, Otome found it necessary to say that Chippy is the Gnosia. With those 3 doctor claims, we can also whittle down the guardian angel role to Setsu and Jonas, and the bug to Comet, Setsu, and Jonas. Those 3 now, or 2 rather, because Jonas is already dealt with, will become the targets. Now, thinking it back now, I'd probably go after Setsu or Comet here, because they're most likely to be the bug if they're still alive. And instead I voted Remnant because they were the real doctor, and that's obviously not the right move. Looks like Setsu was the bug,